Wireplay is Australia's ultimate dial-up gaming experience. It hooks you up to gamers via the telephone system and links it to its own cutting-edge technology for blistering multiplayer performance. Not only does Wireplay allow you to take on real people at all levels for the best gaming experience going, it also brings you one of the fastest, smoothest gaming services around. A wide variety of Quake and Quake 2 servers are being set up right now on Wireplay. The high-performance, compact, Proliant 5500R multi-processor NT servers are exactly what Quake needs, and we've pumped them full of memory. With online tournaments, competitions, and even our own dedicated weekly Wireplay news service, packed with games, tips, and gossip, Wireplay Australia offers a uniquely competitive online gaming experience. Wireplay Invades Brisbane, Australia's largest Quake and Quake 2 tournament to date. November 7th, 1998. With over $100,000 in sponsorship and prizes. Over 1,000 spectators watched the action unfold live on 12-foot screens in Melbourne and Sydney over the Wireplay network.
Honestly.
Smack my bitch up.
In 1998, the best Quake players in Australia are born and bred in Queensland and Melbourne, but so young are the stats and data on this leisure phenomenon that there is no obvious reason why. I think that there is. a 21-year-old gamer by the name of Harold says to me. I think that the telephone lines are better in Melbourne. Well, I've heard this, that the network backbone is more solid there, and the feed superior, which gives Melbourne players the edge. In some instances, myth matters more than hard data, except of course when it comes to frags. There's no bluffing the body count. At one end sits a bank of computers, above them a screen. Circulating are various performance artists dressed in sci-fi gear. In the middle, a pizza truck piling out Supremes and soft drinks. The crowd is eager, the vibe is good. This is a new phenomenon. Inside the Wireplay site for several weeks, the best Quake 2 players have been matching wits and reflexes. The eventual winner, 23-year-old Melburnian James Marshall, under the tag Berserker, a well-known Doom word, is to wear the Australian jersey at E3, the world's biggest games convention hosted in the US every year, where he will pitch skills with the best of the Americans. It was a great match, Berserker said to me afterwards. What more can I say? I kicked ass. To boost the profile, the creators of Quake 2 are here in the form of two 3D wizards from the Texan-based company ID Software. Brandon James and Tim Willits. ID have led the virtual global games revolution with titles such as Doom and Wolfenstein, and their shoot-'em-up basics and impressive three-dimensional architecture worlds. James and Willits are comparably the rock stars of the 3D gaming world. As they walk through the room, they are referred to as the Quake guys. Hardcore Quakers quiver with respect in their company. Can I ask you guys a Quake 2 question for the movie?
What question?
What do you think about the Hyper Blaster? You like it? Hate it.
What do you want to do? Light your damn pop pipe with it?
Yeah. That's the old cat roly-poly looking out the window, trying to imagine chasing those birds around. And meanwhile, I'm in here on the computer trying to imagine Australia and the moments that they might have first gotten Quake 2, and then earlier than that, when the hell did the internet get to Australia? I don't know. To answer that question, we had to leave Brisbane, drive 2.5 hours down the coast to arrive at Terania Creek. I was momentarily distracted by a town called Wollongong. Australian media historian and professor at the University of Sydney, Gerard Goggin, explains, on the 14th of September 1989, a group of people gathered to celebrate and create a new concept and use a new technology. It was the 10th anniversary of the blockade of Terania Creek, the rainforest wilderness area near the Channon, 25 minutes north of Lismore in northern New South Wales. They climbed the path to Protesters Falls, then repaired to the car park. What brought them there was not only the commemoration of a great moment in the history of ecology struggles, but the launch of one of Australia's first commercial internet services, Pegasus Networks Communications. These internet pioneers officially launched Pegasus with the assistance of a laptop and a mobile phone.
Not at all.
Welcome to EarthNet. And we've got here a number of unread messages from various people around the world, so I'll just start to read through them all one by one.
There's something a little unsettling about watching somebody connect a computer into a global computer system from almost the middle of nowhere. The nearest village is 12 kilometres away. The nearest phone line is 1 kilometre away. And the system is powered by the sun. How is it possible for us to be sitting here in the middle of a field in Terania Valley to plug into this network? How can that be done?
We can do it here because of the cellular telephone network.
That's mobile phones. And
That's mobile phones, yeah. And the mobile phone connecting through the modem, which is the little box that you connect into your computer, makes the communications possible. And of course, anyone who's got a telephone, and in the remotest areas of Australia, you can find a telephone connection. That's another way to do it. But we were particularly excited to experiment with the mobile network and see how that one went.
In principle, what Pegasus Networks means is that no matter where anybody is, if they subscribe and have a computer and a phone, the world can be their information oyster.
It's a tremendous amount of information. It's about 3 Encyclopaedia Britannicas full. So it's not a thing you sit in and read from beginning to end, and I'm still discovering new parts of it, and I think everybody associated with the network is. What we're doing here is very likely to be a form of communication many people will have adopted, say, within 10 years. As we go forward, I think it'll become far more popular.
Be that as it may, though increasing numbers of people are learning how to use computers, many are still nervous about them. Do you need to be a computer buff, a computer wizard to get into this sort of technology?
You need a computer wizard working for Pegasus, and fortunately we have one that's not me. I'm not one of those at all. I'm just an ordinary computer user. No, it's pretty simple. And I guess what we're trying to do is to make it as easy as we possibly can for people to use by taking the techno-babble and so on out of it and just making it very easy.
The launch of Pegasus Networks was a typical Northern Rivers affair. At a picnic area on the edge of a rainforest, Ian Peter called up the world.
This one's from IBAP. I'm the director of IBASE. We're very pleased to see Australian groups online.
From here, the signal travelled to the Pegasus headquarters at Byron Bay. And from Byron Bay, via the phone system and satellites, overseas to North and Central America.
And here we are at the launch of Earthing. So, that's great. What we do. It's fairly simple. From a computer, we're just linking to a telephone or a little box called a modem. This puts us in contact with PeaceNet, with EcoNet, with GreenNet, with the Web in Canada, with the IBASE, and with people in about 70 countries, and with Greenpeace, and Friends of the Earth, and World Wildlife Fund, Amnesty International, Survival International.
The environment movement used to be decidedly ambivalent about high technology, but Pegasus is close to state-of-the-art.
I think the thing about technology, when you go back to the 60s, a lot of us were sort of pretty scared of anything around technology, and we hadn't really thought it through to abandoning the knife and fork, but there was a lot of scepticism about anything. And appropriately, you know, because there is a lot of technology that is harmful and a lot of technology that is polluting, a lot of technology that's very energy consumptive. This run we can run off a solar panel very easily, and it uses very little energy.
The Pegasus solar power system not only powered their computer in the bus, it also charged some of our batteries for our cameras and still had power to spare. Solar power, computer power, knowledge is power, and Pegasus draws it all together. For some, connecting social change groups together around the world could be subversive.
Are you radicals?
The network is a transparent thing that allows people to communicate, and I'm quite sure some radical people will use the network, and I'm quite sure some conservative people will too, and I think that's fine.
A moment in time. One of the great battles between the forest industry and the conservation movement occurred at Terania Creek. Let's have a look. Terania Creek, an idyllic pocket of pristine rainforest 30 kilometres from Lismore in northern New South Wales. Although comparatively small, it's surely one of the most significant areas of rainforest in the world. So when James from Dunsborough in WA asked, is it true that the first ever anti-logging protest happened in Australia, we asked John Seed, who was instrumental in the fight to save this magnificent area.
If I try and remember it, I don't know any other way to put it. I heard the trees screaming, and it wasn't screaming so much from a personal pain, but screaming that humans had to understand the significance of what was taking place, and it was trees screaming, wake up.
Terania Creek is a remnant of what was once known as the Big Scrub, one of the largest subtropical rainforests in the world.
Because it grew on basalt soil, it was like a particularly rich rainforest, but it was also particularly rich farming country, and the clearing was such that by the time that the Terania Creek protest took place, 0.1% of that original rainforest remained, and that's what the quarrel was about.
In August 1979, former city slicker John was one of a group of hippies from Nimbin who decided enough was enough. In an area that relied heavily on the logging industry, their mission was to halt any further destruction. Their actions brought the Forestry Commission's management of the rainforest into question for the first time.
Let's go down through the forest. Let's go seek the counsel of the trees. Let's gaze in wonder in the forest and bathe in a million years of peace. Since time began, long before man, nature has known harmony. Far beyond strife, grow together in life, then giving life over to seed. Let's go down through the forest. Let's go seek the counsel of the trees. Let's gaze in wonder in the forest and bathe in a million years of peace. In this world so postmodern, constructed perfectly, see, there are times when we all feel downtrodden. We all need some place to feel free. Let's go down to the forest. Let's go save our old friends, the trees. Learn to live together with the forest and save some for our children, please. Someone's cutting holes in the forest. They're taking more than they need. Must we say goodbye to the forest? Merely because of man's greed.
If you go down in the woods today, you better go in disguise. If you go down in the woods today, be sure of a big surprise. And if you go, then you'll see, soon there won't be any trees. Today's the day the foresters do their logging.
We are the foresters. We are the foresters. We're doing the job of work today. We're using bulldozers and chainsaws to knock this out of the way. We're here to clear the land. We're working for the man, that's all we understand. We buzz, we chop, we flag in the forest, we crash onto the ground because we're working for the man.
Oh, Mr. Man, don't you understand? There's so little earth left unspoiled. We know not so far if we can heal the scar left behind from our selfish toil. Let's all go down to the forest. Let's go save our old friends, the trees. Learn to live together with the forest and save some for our children, please. And save some for our children, please. And save some for